Hi, Kevo. Determinism WOW. I've been wanting to discuss this aspect of things with you for a bit, so I thought I'd take this opportunity since you have it here. I've had discussion with Honest Discussioner in regards to this, and he swayed me a little bit more over to the idea of determinism. And part of that has to do with the fact that I wasn't really clear on what free will was. I had always had this kind of idea that free will meant you had the capacity to make a choice when given an option. And yet he argues that you don't really. There's still underlying elements, chemicals and whatnot, and all the rest of the stuff supposed to make you up to be what you are, determine how you will respond in any given situation. I guess I still have a problem. Again, you brought up the end. What is free will? Again, I always thought it was capacity to make a decision or a choice. I'm talking about people, since everything is deterministic, then you might as well go die or something to that effect. But that would be making a choice, and I always get down to the point of saying, well, we have no. Again, it all boils down to whether or not there is some sort of plausibility to this free will, whether it means that either you're making a selection among a variety of choices, or it means that you have the capacity to alter cause and effect. And that's what I take Honest Discussioner to have meant that free will is, and maybe even that's what they're saying. The theists are saying that free will is, that God gave us free will, the ability to act outside of cause and effect. For me, I never thought it was that. I always thought it was just the capacity to make a choice between options, and I never thought that it was undermining cause and effect. I thought cause and effect was still in operation. I mean, you seem to think that too when you're talking about values, observations about reality, facts. Because otherwise I'm thinking, I'm here talking to you, I'm formulating these ideas and thoughts and turning them into sentences and ways of communicating with you, but I'm not really, because it's just cause and effect. Determinism is making all this stuff come out of my mouth, all this processes that we've undergone since we were children, learning how to speak and all that sort of stuff, is all cause and effect. And I don't have to worry about anything like whether or not I'm wrong, stupid, being an asshole, being contrary. I don't know. It still seems, and yet I will not deny cause and effect. Cause and effect, as far as I'm concerned, is the operant that makes it possible for us to be able to do all these things. And a lot of people maybe make mistakes about things like that too. As you look at making observations about existence out there, and you say, look, we can fly, we can defy gravity, but we don't, do we? We can fly because of gravity. Gravity holds the atmosphere in, and we use the properties of aerodynamics and atmosphere and aerofoils and all that sort of stuff to make it possible for us to fly. Interpretation. Interesting. The same with interpretation of the facts. What we observe to be facts. And what we observe to be facts are decided to be objective facts based on a consensus of subjective observations. Isn't that right? We don't just take one person's word for it. We take measurements and we find a number of people who can make the same measurements to use that as a consensus to determine that this is a fact, legitimate and valid throughout existence, or our existence anyways. Um, I just want to bring this thing up about determinism. Again, like I say, I'm not an opponent of the idea of determinism. I am in strong support of it. I just still think we have the capacity to make selections and choices among a variety of options. Do you think that's right? Or am I mistaken? Thanks. Talk to you later.